29 days out from the first show. So it's September 1st today, which puts us, like I said, 29 days out from the Ryestrick Royal Rumble, the first show of the season. We've then got a bit of a timeline now working into what's going on with the shows. We've officially booked the final show for the year. So we've got the Ryestrick Royal Rumble, the regional. We've then got the British Championships, the first ever Gymshark sponsored bodybuilding event. Not that I'm doing it for the Gymshark sponsorship, but it's the British Championships. It's the final British qualifier for the pro card. And obviously this year being my pro card attempt, that show made a lot of sense to do. And that's going to be October 14th. So just a couple weeks after that Ryestrick Royal Rumble show. Then we've officially booked for Denmark. It's in the books, it's paid, it's ready to go. So we've now got that full timeline for what the competitive season looks like for me this year. That period of time holding this body fat is not going to be the most fun experience of my life, but this is a massive opportunity to really deep dive into how close to a professional standard can I hold myself to? Being able to do multiple back-to-back shows like some of the pros do as they're trying to qualify for the Olympia. Well, this is my version of that. We've got to attain that pro card. This is the year that we're going for it. So there's a lot riding on what we're doing now. Today we're going to deep dive into a little bit of the PEDs behind what I'm doing, a bit more of a food update, a bit of a general condition update, all these things, what it looks like being less than a month out from the first show, and how we're going to transition that into the next show and hold that into the final show. So there's huge amounts going on now. The pressure's really ramping up, especially with Denmark being booked. For me, that's the ultimate show. I said in 2019 when I signed on with my coach, Tom, that was the show that I really wanted to turn pro at. That's it's like the ultimate pinnacle goal for me, is to turn pro in Denmark. Obviously my entire branding being around Vikings, Team Viking Muscle, to go to a Scandinavian country and turn pro there. I think that it would be really, really cool to set the brand off that way. So obviously there's a huge amount of pressure there, but in the words of the great Chris Bumstead, pressure is a privilege. So we're working towards that. We're holding ourselves to that standard. So as we go through this video, like I said, we'll go into the drugs, we'll go into the food, a bit of an update on how it feels to be 29 days out from that first one. So there's a lot going to be packed into this video, but it's going to be worth sticking around for. And if you haven't already, do make sure you like and subscribe the video.
What's today's pre-workout meal, Jordan?
So it's back to what it normally was. So 50 grams of whey. I've got the cinnamon donut flavor in the same bowl that I had the chocolate mint earlier. It seems to mix the flavors. I'm not too bothered by that. 1 bagel, 10 grams of cashew butter and 30 grams of jam. I was just saying off camera a minute ago, on the last video I said my pre-workout meal was the one consistent I'd had that hadn't changed at any point in the prep. And like 2 days later, 3 days later, my coach changed it to turkey mince, cashew butter and peas. So I was really, really upset with that. So it's actually nice to have this back, and actually, it sounds really stupid, but I enjoy my sludge more than pretty much anything else. It's just that one thing I go, yeah, I've got that, it's gonna be okay. And you can't beat a bagel compared to cashew butter and turkey mince. As much as it tasted all right, there's no carbs in it, so it doesn't help for training. But here we go.
What's in the tub? What we got today?
So pre-workout is 1 scoop of Vascumax. I got the cherry cola flavor, and what was it? 1 scoop of Warrior Rage, or just under a scoop. Again, the cola flavor. I know that's a cheap pre-workout, but it does the job for a little bit of caffeine. And then we've got Essential Gains EAAs and Hydroflow going in on the intra-workout. I started putting the Hydroflow in for the electrolytes and the hydration side of things, just to keep me going during the training. Plus it tastes good. Yeah. Okay. So in for another push session, second one of the week. 29 days out. So intensity is now kind of picking back up. That second wind, that drive to really finish the package kicks in now. So that energy to start pushing back up the weights and really hit the things that I'm not being lazy on, but not being willing to push. That's back in now. We've got Fraser in to train to push me through as well. Because first 2 exercises are fine, but energy drops off real quick. So that's first exercise done. Already out of breath. We'll crack on. I feel flat as a pancake. Hopefully the Vascumax actually kicks in, gives me a pump, but...
Question is though, what kind of pancakes? Scotch pancakes, sweet pancakes?
Let's not deep dive into pancakes. Let's not do that to me. A flat one with no baking powder.
Do you know what I love? Is the fact that you've got 2 veins that come down here. So it makes you look like you've got 2 sets of eyebrows.
2 sets of eyebrows. Leave my veins alone, I'm self-conscious. Okay, so in this video, I put up a Q&A on my Instagram yesterday, so we're going to go through some of the questions today and just kind of answer out some of the common things that I get asked. And we'll go straight into that first one. What's the difference between a natural prep and an enhanced prep? I seem to get asked this one quite a lot. The basic answer is there isn't much difference. Really, the only differences are you're not going to have the drugs to play around with and support things like the thyroid. So you have to monitor fatigue a lot more. You have to monitor the way that you approach things and the timeline that you create with them. But the overall concept is still the same. You're still going to be tired. You're still going to go through the same processes. You're still going to build cardio up, drop the foods. Most of the process is still the same. If anything, actually, sometimes I find natural clients will get even leaner than enhanced clients who haven't got certain extras to worry about in the interactions within the body. So there's actually a huge opportunity to get absolutely diced. But you just have to monitor that fatigue that little bit more carefully, because you can't throw in all the extra supplements to support the thyroid like the T3, the T4. You don't have the strong fat burners like the Clen. So you do have to be that little bit more aware of what's going on. And from a coaching point of view, it's more about planning the timelines a little bit more carefully. But the main difference is just fatigue monitoring. You don't, like I said, you don't have that extra boost to push you through. So being a little bit more calculated with deloads and how to push the client through. But the overall concept is exactly the same. It's get shredded and go and win. Okay, next question. So, someone who enjoys barbell lifts, is it best to swap to a Smith machine when foods get low? It kind of comes down to how safe can you stay. If you can maintain the integrity of the lift, maintain your safety and performance. If you enjoy it, don't change it, just keep doing it. It solely comes down to how safe do you feel doing the lifts. Like you've got people like Kevin Laroni that were still doing 3-4 plate bench presses a week out, 2 weeks out from a show. So if you can maintain what you're doing, don't change it, especially if you enjoy it. If it's something that you don't really care for, then yeah, by all means, change it and optimize what you're doing. But don't force things to change just because your food's getting lower. If you can maintain your safety and enjoy the session that little bit more, it doesn't make sense to swap things out. Just keep going.
You got this.
So whilst Fraser's doing that set, we'll answer the next one. So next question that was sent across is, what's my mentality like at this stage of prep in training? What do I do to keep myself going? And the basic answer is it's the same mentality in training that I have for the day-to-day basis at the moment, which is just one more day, one more rep, one more set. It's focus on the really, really small details that you can control. So I know when I was doing my set there, pushing myself, I wanted to drop out at 4 reps, but you do 1 more and then 1 more again. You focus on 1 more. Come on, Fraser. So that mentality of just 1 more, it translates to more than just surviving the days. It's, okay, get to the next meal, get to the next set, get to the next exercise. That's how you approach the mentality. If I start worrying about something that's gonna happen 29 days away from now, I'm gonna freak out straight away. But I can control my next set. And the mentality for that is just, okay, focus on that one thing, because that one thing is all that matters to me right now. Nice. Considering your off season, you've got some fucking veins coming through as well.
Yeah, you got this.
Jesus. There we go. Next question, how do you pick your class, or what's the best way to pick the class that you should do? So there's 2 ways to approach it, in my opinion. One, which class do you enjoy the look of? Like if you don't like the look of a certain class, don't build your physique to it. Don't enter it, don't do it, just because you think you're gonna get a better placing. But on the flip side, you do have to look at how your body's put together. If you've got really narrow shoulders and a really wide waist, doing classic physique is not going to be the best idea for you. You need very broad shoulders, very small waist. You might want to look more towards open. If you don't have the best set of legs, men's physique might be a better option for you until you build your legs out. So as much as enjoyment is a part of it, do look at how your physique is put together. Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? And what is the criteria of the class that you're trying to enter? So for me, I have broad shoulders, I have a small waist, I can pose well. So classic physique is a good fit for me, and I enjoy the look. I prefer the look of it. So it suits me in both senses of that advice. But make sure, male or female, look at the criteria, look at how your physique is put together, and then do bear in mind the enjoyment of the look of that class.
Do you reckon it's been worn a bit?
Just a little bit. Fuck me. That's it. That hits quick.
Is that you
Yeah.
fresh out of gas, yeah?
Yeah. I don't even know what happened. At 18, I was like, ah.
Yeah. Let's go! Yeah. Ready? I was made for this. Let's get it. This is business, so it's time that I go to work. And we live this cause we made it up out of the dirt. So play at your own risk. I'm focused, I'm zoned in. This is my shot and I won't miss. Yeah, I was made for this. Today is the day to go and be great. We going all the way. Yeah, I was made for this. I'ma answer the call. Win or we fall, I want it all. Cause I am unstoppable. I was made for this. I was made for this. They gon' remember the name when it all goes down. Get used to this cause I'll be around holding the crown. I'm the king. I never got caught up in what they say. I just make them pay. I can't wait for it. I was made for this. Today is the day to go and be great. We going all the way. Yeah, I was made for this. I'ma answer the call. Win or we fall, I want it all. Cause 'cause I am unstoppable. I was made for this. 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 I'm tapped in, never tapped out. Never, I get back in, yeah, never back down. And I'm leveling up when it's go time. The lights come on and it's showtime. When it comes to the greatest, I'm top of the list. I was made for this. Today is the day. Go and be great. We going all the way. Yeah, I was made for this. I'ma answer the call. When we fall, I want it all. 'Cause I am unstoppable. I was made for this.
On the dot. So post-workout is 50 grams of whey protein, 75 grams of Cocoa Pops. I was just saying I was going to shortchange myself and do 50 grams because I couldn't remember how much it was supposed to be. So not shortchanging myself. That sludge, I'll sort that in a second. 75, let's see. Oh, there we go. I thought it moved then. I genuinely thought it moved up. I panicked. Like, how do I get out of that? Zoned out for a second. I was thinking. It's like the least interesting part of my day is sat here eating and thinking about more food. Right, so obviously just trained, done a Q&A, gone through some of the questions I get asked quite a lot. So we're gonna pretty much wrap up this video here. Next time I've got Ben over will be the start of peak week actually. So in about 3 weeks. So that's going to be a very interesting video for you guys to watch. So if you want to continue following along this journey as we start that actual competitive side of this part of the journey, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like, hit that bell notifications or bell to get the notifications of each new video coming up. And hopefully we'll see you on the start of the next video.